Well, it has been a long time coming here, ladies and gentlemen. We are back here at the Zeus Gran Turismo League here for season number 4, round 1. We are back, baby. We're gonna bring the lightning here to this track, and today, for the first race of the season, we have 25 laps around the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. It is a 4.3 mile track, or 7 kilometers around. One of the oldest tracks in existence, starting around the early 1900s. And in terms of BOP, this is a high-speed track here today. Welcome aboard, everyone, as we are here for the first round of several throughout the season. It is going to be a blast. And yeah, my name is Patrick Coleman, aka Rekkus. I will be your host and commentator today for Lobby 1. Unfortunately, we don't have a lobby host, we have a lobby host, but we don't have a stream host for Lobby 2. And hopefully we'll have one next week. So typically how this is going to work is that there is going to be a 15-minute qualifying session, and then the fastest 15 drivers from both Lobby 1 and Lobby 2, or I guess I should say overall, within Lobby 1 and Lobby 2, they will go ahead and join us here in Lobby 1. Lobby 1 is the premier lobby, full points, and it's for the fastest drivers between both qualifying sessions. Just give me a quick second, everybody. Oh, there we go. Never mind. I don't have to do anything else. I was just about to post the link in our Discord. So yeah, it's going to be a splendid time here in Spa-Francorchamps. One of my personal favorite tracks to commentate for, and also just a really fun track to drive. Fan favorite for quite a few reasons. And yeah, just gonna go ahead and post this on my story real quick. Be sure you guys are gonna go ahead and drop a like. Or sorry, wait, this isn't YouTube. My apologies. Go ahead and follow us here on stream. We have 11 viewers already. That is awesome. Glad to have you guys here. Make sure you guys are following if you haven't already. We're going to get started here very, very shortly with qualifying. Good to see everyone. Unfortunately, there is not a live stream for Lobby 2. It is only me for Lobby 1. I think Lobby 2 is going to have a stream next week, though. So, I think that'll be on our YouTube, though. So, definitely subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. That's where the second lobby will usually be. It'll be on the YouTube channel, while Lobby 1 is here on Twitch. But don't worry, fear not. This race will be re-uploaded, or the entirety of the VOD will actually be re-uploaded to YouTube very shortly after the race actually wraps up. Alright. Just going to go and take care of a few more things here. And I love seeing support for teams in chat already. It's always great to see. And alright, once I wrap this up real quick. I guess I didn't really copy correctly, but I'm just trying to post this on Instagram so we can potentially get more people in. And then we'll be joining some cars on track. So some big changes for this season here in Season 4. Unlike other seasons, the car draft has been removed. So teams have free range to go ahead and choose whatever car they so desire. Their teammates do have to run the same car though. So if you're on a team with someone, you guys have to run the same car and the same livery, aside from the racing number, obviously. But other than that, we have quite a few options for cars here today. Alright, there we go. Took care of that. The last thing I really wanted to take care of. Alright. Now, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody watching this stream currently, regardless of your time zone, are you guys ready to see some cars on track? Because that is exactly what we're going to go ahead and do here today. So, alright, we are currently on board with Inferno Rocket. Inferno is a new team to ZGTL, or the Zeus GT League. So they've elected to drive the Hyundai, which, I mean, you don't see Hyundai a lot in terms of Gran Turismo, at least in some of the more league races. But it is good to see a good variety of cars, because variety is the spice of life. And we are going to go ahead and just going to go from car to car a bit. Now we are on board with Lucky Luz in the BMW M6. A very nice two-tone livery there from the Dutchman as he begins his outlap. Now granted, I will say this is only practice, as Inferno Rocket gets hit with a 1 second time penalty for track limits. Unfortunate there. We have a 15-minute qualifying, and then it's a little bit of an intermission period to go ahead and get everybody situated in the lobby that they belong to. We do have 2 separate lobbies set up. Lobby 1, which is what you're currently on board with, and then Lobby 2, which unfortunately doesn't have a stream tonight. And then the fastest overall times from both lobbies. So if you take both lobbies combined and took the top 15 drivers, those drivers will come here to Lobby 1 and be in the top lobby and also be on stream. It's going to be a really fun time here in GTTL. It's my first time commentating here. Really looking forward to it. Hope you guys enjoy. I mean, I know Spa is really good for delivering some really good on-track action. And also, this league so far has been showing some really good liveries too. And I believe that is the LDRS esports team. It is the liveries that we were talking about a bit earlier on in chat. We were seeing a ton of support for these drivers. And honestly, like, that is awesome. I really love when drivers come support, or even just friends and family come support their drivers that are in these leagues. As somebody who has done a little bit of competitive racing here and there, that support is really, really nice and really, really appreciated. So I know that the drivers here also really, really appreciate you guys and all the support that you're giving them here for today's stream. Alright, now we're even seeing some love for Venomous Venom, a driver from Exodus Motorsports, a team that has been doing extremely well when it comes to Super Formula. And now they have a driver here in Zeus GT League, driving another team driving the BMW M6. We're seeing quite a few of those here. The M6, I mean, is a popular car in the GT3 space. So it's no surprise that we're really seeing quite a few of them. We'll go back to our car on track, and it's another BMW M6. It is the year 1 machine of TWR Mercedes. A little bit of lag here on this POV. So we'll switch it up and head to LDRS, or Telmo Thomas. I'm still learning these drivers' names, so apologies everyone if I do make a mispronunciation. I will do my best to learn as the season goes on. But yeah, it's going to be a really fun time here. I believe we're actually going to get started with qualifying here really, really soon. Now, the thing with Spa when it comes to qualifying is that it's got a super long outlap. So the drivers have to make they got to make it count. I mean, it is 15 minutes of qualifying, but it's about over 2 minutes for an outlap. So you're really going to have to put pedal to the metal if you want to get a lot of laps done, especially because you obviously want to get those soft tires into that correct operating window, and you also want to make sure that you have the lightest car possible, so you'll really want to burn out that fuel, and then you'll really have the quickest lap time possible. But if you make one mistake, then it takes so long to recover here at Spa. So it's you got to be very, very careful on this track. Okay, so we just got confirmation from the lobby host that they will be starting soon. Just waiting on lobby number 2. Just waiting on lobby number 2. I think we're waiting on maybe 1 or 2 more people. If there's somebody who is currently on lobby 2 that could confirm or deny. But anyways, how are you guys doing today? How is chat feeling today? Guys enjoying? You guys having a good day so far? Seeing a lot of love for Loderes Esports. I hope I pronounced that correctly. But a lot of love for the drivers on that squad, the LDRS squad. The support for them is in full force here today. Let's see if we can find one of them on track. Unfortunately not. There's none of them currently on track. As we see the Coors Light Jaguar running around, Frenzied Rhombus. Representing him and his team, representing Jaguar this season. I think I'll look at their official team name, because their official team name is very, very tricky. And also we do have somebody restarting their game real quick, so the race start will be delayed by just a bit. Shouldn't be a super long delay. Yeah, let me actually get some team names for us. So the car we are currently on board with Frenzied Rhombus and Mark Walton GT7. The team name is, and get ready for this because this is a doozy, Biscuits Ain't Just a Cookie Racing Company PLC. I'm not making it up, that is an actual name, so we'll probably just call them PLC for now. And yep, Wall 74 is also in that PLC machine. And then we're taking a look at Kira. Go ahead and confirm what team he is currently on. Just gotta look for a team that's running BMWs, because there are a few of them. That might be yeah, okay, I'm still trying to find what team that is. So we'll just call them the BMW team for now. And then we'll go to Aaron. Aaron Greer is part of the McLaren GT3 team. They're running the 650S for the season. Take a look at some other cars here. Yassar is part of the Inferno Motorsports team. They're running the Hyundai, as we talked about earlier on. And then we have 9PP running the BMW M6. Another team running the M6 for the season. Just trying to get everybody's name down. Oh, actually, I did get confirmation. So this is the Sin City Racing team. Okay, I just found it. The Sin City Racing team running the M6 Sprint version with Yas and Lewis. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. Got confirmation that we will be starting as soon as TWR joins back. Doing some pit stop training here for this BMW. Let's go ahead and take a look at some other cars here on track. There's more teams in the other division as we are on board now with Venomous Venom from Exodus Motorsports here running that BMW M6. It looks like we might even have a little bit of a race between these two. That looked like a little bit of lag there on the end of that McLaren there for Aaron. Looking a little jittery on circuit. Going through one of the big chicanes on track. And I believe we are actually going to get underway very, very soon. Because we're just waiting on one driver to join is all we are waiting on. Yep, there is only one year one car on the grid. We'll actually go back. We'll actually go ahead and go back to it. Once we find it. Actually, no, it's not on track at the moment, so we won't be going back to it for now. Tony is one of the drivers running the Ferrari. That's a pretty nice looking Ferrari. Kind of reminds me of like the Lewis Hamilton. And actually looking at it, that is the B&H team. B&H is an acronym, but I'm not going to say it on stream because it might get us banned. And we definitely don't want that. But the B&H Racing team is running that Ferrari. They got a very Lewis Hamilton-esque livery. And then we have 9PP, both running the BMW. Two different colors of BMW I noticed too from earlier on in the practice session. You have one that's like orange accents and then another one that is having those yellowish, like highlighted yellow accents. And then we'll obviously go back to a driver that's been seeing a lot of love in chat. The Nissan GTR of LDRS. Certainly a fan favorite here so far. They're waiting for one singular person, then we'll get started with the lobby. Just waiting on Mercedes. Actually, yeah, I don't think we have all those teams listed here, so... Yeah, so... TWR Mercedes is the only Year 1 Esports driver currently registered. There's a few teams that are running solo drivers. X's Motorsports is also running solo for right now, with Venom is Venom, the car that is now currently on your screens. Now, he's definitely made a name for himself, particularly in Super Formula. He was a super sub for Formula GT in Season 7. Had a pretty good string of performances there. Got the attention of X's Motorsports, which have signed him as a reserve, but now he is racing full-time here in the Zeus GT League, racing under the X's Motorsports banner while running with BMW for the season. Now, some speculation was coming around about what car this team would use. I know Ferrari was an option for this team. Genesis was something I heard from Venom himself when I was having a little conversation with him earlier. But they ultimately have decided to run BMW. I mean, the BMW is a very solid car. It's pretty well known, pretty common. And oh, Venomous Venom actually went deep there, but it doesn't matter. Qualifying is beginning here. And season number 4 is underway, ladies and gentlemen. It is going to be a blast here. And it's qualifying time. We'll see who gets to go out. And actually, it looks like quite a few cars have started already. And yeah, we got cars on track here. For the first time in Season 4, qualifying is a go. 15 minutes of qualifying here, ladies and gentlemen. So you have 15 minutes to set the fastest lap humanly possible. And then we'll go ahead and split the lobbies again. So drivers from here will be compared to drivers in lobby 2. And then the top 15 drivers from both lobbies will go ahead and join us here in lobby 1. So you will see some of these drivers stick around in this lobby, and then other drivers go ahead and depart and head to lobby number 2. We'll just see how qualifying plays out. Right now, Tony actually, let's see who's the actual first car on track. Seems to be quite a few cars now. And it looks like Wall actually might be the first car to actually start on a lap. Part of the PLC team. We'll stay on board with the Jaguar for a bit. If at any time there's a car you want me to go on board with, like on an onboard camera for a lap, then go ahead and drop it in chat and I will drop in and go ahead and compensate for the entirety of a lap on board with a specific driver. Also, just to note, we have several different cameras. If you're familiar with Gran Turismo and the spectating system, we have several different cameras. The camera we're currently using is just the typical cinematic camera. The camera you see on most broadcasts, like by default. And then you have the POV, the first person POV of cockpit view. You have the pretty popular hood camera view, bumper cam, and then player cam, as I like to nickname it. Just the regular standard third person camera. So any camera, any car, I will go on an onboard lap with. Just go ahead and drop it in chat. Anyways, speaking of laps, we're going to go ahead and get started with the first flying qualifying lap here of the season with Wall 74, part of the PLC team running the Jaguar. We'll see what he can do. And as Aaron Greer and Yassar go ahead and go into the pits. Curious to see what that's all about, but we're going to go on board with the driver currently on your screen. And he's about to go through Air Rouge, which is a very rapid high-speed corner. One of the most famous corners of all motorsports. It looks like he gets a low score there. It might have been track limits there on the edge of that corner. We'll actually go ahead and replay here. Go ahead and get a nice live replay. There it goes. Yep, he's going to come up Air Rouge. And let's see if he goes over track limits. Oh, it looks like he does just slightly. Slightly over track limits there, but he didn't get a penalty for it, so it is still good. Excellent stuff here from the British driver in the Jaguar. Now, this is a really tricky hairpin because it looks like it could be a full speed hairpin, but it is not. You really got to feather your throttle there, as we're seeing as we have the telemetry actually pulled up for this Jaguar, and we'll keep it up. Actually, we'll just keep it up for the rest of the stream. No big deal. And this is another corner that's deceptively fast. You can just hear that V8 of the Jaguar F-Type just roaring through the Ardennes Forest here in Stevlat, Belgium at the Spa-Francorchamps circuit. And I mean, this track, you got to be right up on. You can even see in the bottom right corner that he is managing the throttle so well. And now we're going to go on to probably one of the highest speed sections of the track. There's not really a corner you really have to brake on aside from the bus stop chicane within the last corners of the track. So, I mean, it's going to be a pretty solid time here from the British driver. But Craigo might actually get a bit of a tow behind him. And now, ignore that please refielding. That is a bug specifically with the spectator view. If you do live replays, it does bug out sometimes. So, replays may not work as intended. Hopefully we can get them to stay functioning. And these two cars are going to crumble across the line. We'll see what the times are. It's a 220, but Craigo goes ahead and moves up a spot with a 217, 3 seconds faster than the car behind. And now Inferno Rocket will set a new fastest time of a 215. We're going to go on board now with the McLaren of Aaron. Oh yeah, there's a good amount of lag on the McLaren. There's a slow moving car ahead. Oh yeah, that lag is really rough for that driver. Alright, so we'll go on board. TWR goes ahead, sets a time good enough for P5 with a 2:18. Oh, a little bit of stop there for Venomous Venom as he is currently in P2. The American driver from X's Motorsports currently in P2. And it's a good time for him. Jumping into the series, his first league race outside the manufacturer series. Running in the GT3 cars, or the Group 3 cars in Gran Turismo terms, but he's getting a really nice slipstream and a really good draft here from Mercedes. The two BMWs, well, they're intentional or not, probably not likely because they're not in the same squad, working together a bit to get a good draft. Now, there's some really good spots here to get drafts. The Camelot Straight, which they just went through, is definitely one of them. But then you also have going through the Sector 3 part of the track. That's also a pretty good spot to get a decent draft, but definitely the best part is that Camelot Straight. Now, if Venom actually goes for an overtake here, it could either gain him a lot of time or he can lose a lot of time, so he's got to be real careful as we go on board with the American driver. Go ahead and ride on hood cam here for this BMW as it chases a separate BMW for position. He wants to see if he can get pole position here. Now, those soft tires are looking a little cooked, but, I mean, you got to pretty much do it to get that fuel, just to burn up that fuel. Oh, actually, the the BMW of TWR Mercedes goes a bit off track. He waits a bit and lets Roman go through, or Venom to go through. I know him as Roman. He lets him go through, which is good. You don't want to cause impeding because that could be post-race penalties or maybe even some other form of punishment that I am not fully aware of yet. But we don't have to worry about that because it didn't happen. And now he's about to come across the line here. He's only got the bus stop chicane to navigate. which is a really, really tricky chicane if you just miss your points. Oh, but he goes into the pits. He calls it. He must have not been feeling that time or just wanted a fresh set of rubber. Which you can do. You can make a pit and then only go for brand new tires and still have less fuel. Now, for qualifying, you obviously want that less fuel because your car is going to be lighter. You can turn quicker, accelerate quicker, and overall your lap times will just be quicker. We have 15 people now currently on stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And welcome back to the Zeus GT League. First time on Twitch since about actually 11 months, I think was the last Twitch stream here. So we're back on Twitch for Lobby 1. For every single Lobby 1 stream, we'll be live here on Twitch at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the United States. And now we're up to 17 people watching. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoy. Make sure you go ahead and give us a follow if you haven't already. We're going to be here every single week for the most part. We do have a break around the midway part of the season, but we have some really, really good tracks here for this season. So let's go ahead and see. I'm actually going to pull up the schedule real quick and then talk about it. So next week we have Laguna Seca, and then we have Mount Panorama, and then we have Le Mans, and then Dragon Trail Gardens, Legio Maggiore. I might have mispronounced that. I'm not very good at speaking Italian. And then we have a break for a bit, and then we go back to St. Croix B, Interlagos, Daytona, the Nürburgring 24-hour circuit, Watkins Glen, and then we round off at Suzuka. So a lot of really good tracks here, a lot of famous tracks here in the Zeus GT League. So you guys definitely don't want to miss any of these races. As we see Krago coming to the pits, we'll go on board on the car directly behind him, as he's also coming into the pits. So we'll go back on board with, actually, let's go on board with Yes Sir. Go back on board with Yes Sir real quick. He hasn't set a representative lap time yet, which is really, really unfortunate there. I mean, but he still got 5 minutes. He still probably has about a good 2 laps to go ahead and get it done. And then we'll go ahead and see just where everybody finishes, and we'll see who joins this lobby, who leaves this lobby, and then we'll be underway for 25 laps or 60 minutes of Spa-Francorchamps. Really fun track, lots of good overtaking, so you definitely do not want to miss anything. Go ahead, grab a snack, grab a drink, and make sure you're staying hydrated. Hydration is very, very important. And get ready to watch some action. We're going to stay on board here with the Hyundai of Yassar, the Dutch driver, currently making his way up to Eau Rouge, as we will go on to the hood cam to watch as he goes to Eau Rouge. Oh, actually, no, he calls it. He decides to retire from that lap. And Venomous Venom, I think he's still currently second fastest overall. I think we'll see when the timing table updates. As we're staying on board with this BMW. But once again, I will open the floor to requests. If anyone has any requests, then yeah, just go drop it in chat and I'll jump on board with him. And actually we'll do as another league I watched calls it, a temporary loud engines moment, where I will go ahead and mute myself, take a quick drink, and just go ahead and let the car just go with the onboard ASMR with the car for the duration of the lap. We'll see if Venomous Venom continues. Or actually, you know what? We'll see if Rocket continues. He'll be the closest one. As we're down to about 3 minutes left of this qualifying session. So, alright, gonna come through the next corner and we'll see if he continues. If he does continue, then we will go and do the onboard lap. We'll see if he can improve his time. Wow, he improves his time by quite a bit. And actually, I did realize that Yassar does actually have a representative time. It was just bugged out on the UI for a bit. So it is an Inferno Motorsports front row lockout here in Lobby 1 as we're down to the last 2.5 minutes. And we're going to be on board now with Yassar for the rest of this lap. And we will be back. I apologize real quick. There was you'll see a blue screen pop up for a little bit. I hit the wrong button on my keyboard. But we will be back, actually. We are actually taking the rest of this lap. A good remainder. Excuse me, sorry about that. A good lap there from Yassar. Obviously setting an out lap, trying to get ready to go ahead and do his final lap attempts. But I mean, just because the driver may be first place here doesn't mean they'll be first place in the race, because the times in Lobby 2 are unknown to us because we do not have a stream over there, unfortunately, for today. Hopefully for next week, but as of today, we do not have a stream over there. We're going to go on board with Clemson in the BMW M6, the orange 9PP BMW. It's a pretty nice livery. I will say the liveries here have been pretty nice. It's always excellent to see when talented livery designers get to go ahead and showcase their work here on stream. I mean, if you have a talented driver showcasing a talented livery, then it is just excellent stuff. This league format is very odd. It's nice. I like it. I will agree. There are some things that kind of threw me off initially, but it is pretty cool to see. I mean, you gotta have some kind of variety to help your league stand out, and I think this league has that. The draft thing was also a really neat feature, but there were some people that were unfortunately using it incorrectly, so it just ended up being scrapped for Season 4. So let's see. We'll stay on board with this driver. There are 7 seconds left to qualifying. It's going to be a mad dash towards the end. Actually, we'll stay on board with Clemson, and then we'll switch to Yassar. Rocket is done. He is currently sitting P1 as it sits here. I think he's going to do another outlap, but it's not going to mean much. There is 3 minutes though, giving drivers enough time to finish their laps, especially because Spa's the longest track that we're going to have on the calendar, save for Le Mans and also the Nürburgring. So it's the 3rd largest track we have on the calendar, so its outlaps here are notorious. Yassar will go ahead and set a new improved time. He'll get really close to his teammate. We'll see where Clemson goes. It's good enough for P3. Now let's go ahead and go on board with Venom. Venom's done, so he'll be in P4 at the moment. But Mercedes actually has a penalty, so this lap is not going to be valid. We'll go on board now with Craigo, the other 9PP car. We'll see what he can do. He's only got Sector 3 to navigate here very shortly. The wind is not present here, which is nice because Spa is known for some very nasty tailwinds that can really knock your car out of alignment, especially going through the bus stop chicane. It also led to some very disastrous turn ones, which can cause a lot of problems. There is heavy damage in this league, so if your car gets damaged, then you have to go to the pits to get it fixed. And trust me, the pits here in Spa are notoriously long, and you do not want to make any additional, or you don't want to have more pit stops than are necessary. But also at that same side of the coin, you're going to just lose a lot of time with damage. Speaking of the time, we'll see what time Craigo gets, and it's going to be an improved time, but not an improved position here. Let's see, for Ananias and the sole Lexus on the field here today. We'll see where this driver can go. Oh, he's going in the pits. He's calling it there. What about Lucky? Lucky is done. He is in P9 at the moment. LDRS, Telmo is also done. I think everybody's done. Yeah. Yeah, so everybody's pretty much just done here. And Mercedes actually the last driver across the line. That is definitely not an approved time. Or an approved position. So, we'll go ahead and run through the qualifying results here in this lobby. It is an Inferno 1-2 here in Lobby 1, followed by Clemson, Venomous Venom, Mercedes, Craigo, Kira, Ananias, and then we have Lucky Lutz, Telmo, Aaron Greer, Wall, Rhombus, Tony, and Tama. Those are our drivers here in Lobby 1. But it is going to be noted that this lobby will shake up quite a bit, and the race has been indeed canceled. Now we're going to go and see who joins the lobby and who's going to be joining us and who will be leaving us, because I'm sure there's going to be at least one driver joining and leaving. So overall, I guess I'll ask you guys this question again while we wait. How is everyone doing today? Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. And if there's other Gran Turismo players here, well, I'm sure there is. What is your guys' favorite track to race on, both either competitively or just for fun? Personally for me, I mean, I know it's a popular pick, but Dragon Trail is probably one of my favorites. I like the Seaside Gardens. It's a lot of fun. Lots of really good overtaking opportunities, even though that is actually the only track I've raced on in this league. The less we talk about, the better, to be honest. But overall, it's a really fun track. I also really like Tokyo Expressway. Another really fun track. I mean, I know it's kind of generic, but still really, really fun. Spa, obviously, is a goated track. But overall, Gran Turismo does have some fun tracks. Hopefully they will add some new ones later on down the line. Let's see if we have any. Nerbski. Road Atlanta, there we go. Road Atlanta is a fun track too. I like it a lot. Probably one of my favorite American tracks out there. I mean, Sebring is probably my favorite personally, but we don't have that in this game, unfortunately. Cheap viewers, we do not care. We prefer the genuine viewers that are here. You guys are absolutely awesome. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And honestly, I've been jokingly telling different leagues like to run Eager Norwand, which is the newest track they added to this game several months ago, which is pretty wild to say. It's a fun track, but it is not great for GR3 racing. But in terms of the races that we have on our current calendar, it's pretty tough because there's a lot of really good tracks that are on this calendar. Lots of really good tracks on this calendar, so I'm trying to decide like what track I'm really looking forward to. I mean, the cheap answer is just I'm looking forward to all of them. But I guess if I were to have to pick one, probably Dragon Trail Gardens. To me, Gardens isn't quite as good as Seaside, but Gardens is still a really fun track. Some really good overtaking spots there too. But yeah. Actually, we're going to go and take a quick little break here. We'll still be on this screen, so don't go anywhere. Just going to go ahead and wait for the lobby to come back. We'll see you guys in a bit. Actually, so just so that there isn't just a good amount of just awkward silence, in the words of professional wrestler Cody Rhodes, So what do you guys want to talk about? I am pretty much open for anything right now. We're still getting the lobby stuff situated. I think there's some penalties that might also be dished up, just from what I'm seeing in Discord and in game chat. But yeah, so okay, you know what? Here's a question for chat. If there was one single track from another game, real life, or some other form of media in general that you would love to see in Gran Turismo, what track would it be and why? Go ahead and leave in the chat. I'll read it out on stream. Honestly, I have like too many to count. I'll just go ahead and run through some, although we have one in Sepang. Yes, Sepang is a really fun track. I love it. Lots of really good straightaways. I've driven that track on Grid Legends. It was a lot of fun. I do like Sepang. I know it's actually a very well-liked track. I never really met anyone that doesn't like Sepang. Sepang would be a really good choice. Historic, fast, and technical, yes. Honestly, Sepang is... I'm not gonna say it's underrated because it's very well deserved, or it's very well received, but it's underrepresented in like pretty much every racing game out there. I've only played maybe 1 or 2 racing games that have actually had Sepang as like an actual track. Hockenheim, that's another good one too. Last time I used that was on Forza. Pretty fun track. I like it. It's similar to Sepang kind of. It's got technical sections and it's got a lot of like high speeds. It's also very historic. For me personally, there's so many. Like I could probably spend an entire 2 hours talking about like tracks I would like to see in this game. I guess the first one I'll talk about is Bahrain, the Bahrain International Circuit. Fun fact, and I actually found this out from watching another league for endurance racing in GR1. One of the GR1 cars, I forget which one it is. I want to say it's the Audi, like the 2016 Audi R18, has a track map of Bahrain actually inside the cockpit. So they have the track map, they just don't have the actual track. So it's a fun track. It's kind of similar to Barcelona in a sense. A very good circuit, 50-50. It's got a good amount of high-speed sections, some pretty good technical bits too, some sweeping corners. I mean, there's a reason why F1 teams like to test there every single year. It's just a really, really fun track. And if they added it to Gran Turismo, you have like 5 or 6 different layouts you can play with. So you can honestly just add that one track. And a lot of competitive leagues would use that track a lot. Because you have the regular layout, and then you have the endurance layout, and then you have the outer layout, which is kind of like a NASCAR track almost. Well, sort of. If you made like a NASCAR track like a box, then kinda. And then you have a paddock circuit that's kind of similar to like the small version of Brands Hatch. And overall, there's so many things you could do with Bahrain, and I'm sure like there's a lot of people who play this game that would like to see a track in the Middle East. I mean, the Middle East does have some pretty fun tracks. I mean, Dubai Autodrome's another one. The Jeddah Corniche circuit's pretty fun. Very technical and very tight. I know Croatia gets the Death Chicane moniker, but that track would definitely get it too. That track name sounds very, very familiar. I feel like I might have heard about that somewhere. That name sounds super familiar. Remind me to look that one up later. But if you have info about it, feel free to drop it in the chat. I'll read it out to everyone. But yeah, I mean, like you said, yeah, Germany does have some really good tracks that you can kind of work with. France does too. Like, you could go to Paul Ricard, and that's a pretty fun circuit. Technical, blinding at times, good straights. If I were to base one from America, I would have to do what is my de facto home track of Sebring. I mean, it's historic, it's bumpy, very tricky, a lot of fun. It would be very slippery in the rain, and I think the GR3 cars would have a field day around that track. DTM races there, that explains it. Maggie Course, okay, yeah, Maggie Course is another solid one. Haven't actually raced there in any game, unfortunately, but I know it's a pretty popular track. Okay, you know what? Hear me out, right? So, I think they could add a track to Le Mans. They could add the Bugatti circuit, which is what MotoGP uses for their races. Which, if you haven't watched MotoGP before, I don't watch it a whole lot, but I like watching the highlights on YouTube, and it's pretty neat racing. They actually race at some pretty interesting circuits. The Bugatti circuit is actually significantly shorter than like just regular default Le Mans. So, I think there would be a lot of like leagues and stuff that would use that. Sebring is obviously probably would be my top pick just because I'm from Florida myself, and that track is only about like, at least in my current area, that track is about an hour-ish away from me, roughly, give or take. So yeah. Let's see. What's other tracks? I'm trying to think of some other ones. Zandvoort. We were talking about DTM earlier. I think Zandvoort is still a track that DTM uses. That's a fun track. I think it would go really well with Gran Turismo 2. Lots of banking. It would actually probably play similar to the high speed ring, sort of. Pure karting tracks. Okay, so funny story about karting, right? So years and years ago in GT Sport, me and a lot of my friends were actually going around, we were going around Northern Isle Speedway in go-karts. We did like a 30-lap race. And one of our friends got hit so hard, we actually like physically sent that man to the pit lane. And we were all just like dying of laughter. This was before, well, this wasn't before I started commentating, I don't think. It was before I started commentating for Gran Turismo. I think I was still commentating for Rainbow Six at the time, or I just either that or I just wrapped up with Rainbow Six commentating. Yeah, I've been commentating on and off since like 2019. It's a Dutch version of Tsukuba. I have never heard that before, but now I can't unsee it. You know what? He's onto something, chat. He is indeed onto something there. But another thing too is that Zandvoort's really fun to race at. I've commentated for it a few times in F1, and it's always provided some really banger races. Speaking of F1 tracks, I know this track, I don't know how good it works in Gran Turismo, but the Shanghai International Circuit would be a very interesting track to see here. Although I can already foresee, if you go to a sport lobby with that, I can definitely see a lot of turn 1 bowling incidents happening. Just because that turn 1 pinwheel is so tricky. ETA to race start. I wish I had an answer for you. What we're waiting on currently is that we're waiting on the lobby to be set for lobby 1 and lobby 2. Just trying to compare the qualifying times between both lobbies. That's what we're waiting on at the moment. So waiting on the qualifying times of the lobbies, because it's the fastest times overall between the both of the lobbies that kind of decides how the lobbies get set up. So there's some drivers here that might go to lobby 2, and then other drivers that will come up to lobby 1. That's how it's going to be for the entirety of the season, if we have enough for 2 lobbies, which there's been a pretty solid boom of driver count for this season. Yeah, I unfortunately don't have an actual ETA. Yeah, okay. Driver allocation, yeah. I mean, using different names on Discord, and because I know Discord is like the big service that everybody uses. And yeah, if someone has a different name on Discord than they do in Gran Turismo or PlayStation even, it takes a lot. I've commentated for several leagues over the years, and it's a pain. It is a righteous pain. Alright. So just keeping the chat just so we're keeping activity here in the chat. So, what cars would you guys add to this game if you could? The same rules apply. It could be it could be cars from other games, real life, other forms of media, whatever. There's no real limitations. Just go absolutely insane, or be realistic if you want. Although if I'm being realistic, then I'll just say something like the BMW I said, or something, just with the recent trend of car editions for Gran Turismo. The A4. All right, you know what? All right, I'm seeing some good things in track. Okay, so how would my dream track look like? Oh, that's tough. That is a tough question. I haven't really thought about that, to be really honest. I mean, I have done some track making in the past, but that was like on games like Hot Wheels Unleashed, and as cool as it would be, GT3 cars and loops don't exactly go well together. Yeah, I'm actually really trying to think about that one. It'd probably be mostly like a high speed circuit with a fair amount of banking. So, definitely something similar to like maybe a hybrid of. I respect you a lot, but man, you're gonna make me think about that for hours and hours. So I actually did draw some track designs just when I was bored in class one time. And yes, unfortunately, licensing is a big deal. So I went to Full Sail University, a college here in Orlando, Florida. I did game design, and I did a lot of research about racing games because I wanted to work on racing games. So I learned a lot about the licensing thing, and licensing is a righteous pain in the neck, man. But also, just to brag about my college for a little bit, one of the founders of Discord actually just became a Hall of Famer from my college. Jason Citron. Graduated, I forget what year, but he was 2025 Full Sail Hall of Fame inductee. So I got my one chance to brag about my college for the entirety of the season. But in terms of cars, actually, I will get back to you on that dream track question. I'll have to try to find my notebook somewhere and talk about the track designs. Actually, I don't know where that notebook would have went, to be honest. I was drawing tracks for like a concept of like NFL plus F1 type thing, but that could be a chat for another day. Okay, so we're seeing some drivers leave and join the room. So that might be the higher qualifiers from lobby 2 getting in here finally. And in terms of like what cars I would add, definitely new GT3s. The Ferrari that is being used here is 12 years old at this point, or around 12 years old. So that car is severely outdated. I think the big thing is like, I mean, there's a lot of fun cars I like to add. Like, I mean, I drive a Hyundai Veloster IRL, so obviously getting a Veloster in would be pretty fun. But I think there's just other things that they really need to focus on. Like, as much as I love this game, and I love being here, love chatting with you guys, love commentating, love bringing the action to you guys about this game because there's a lot of good competition on it. It just feels like that the dev team is kind of stuck in their own little bubble, like isolated from what the players like really want. Because I mean, I know there's people who want like just a regular M5 and stuff like that, and to each their own, right? But for the typical competitive scene, right? Which I mean, sim racing nowadays is usually like uber competitive. I mean, look at us here today. But your competitive scene is gonna make you a fair amount of money, so I figured you'd try to at least somewhat cater to that. And there's some people that actually just buy the game just because, you know, it's another sim game to be competitive on. So I think focusing on new GR3s and GR4s would be a good step. I would say Le Mans Hypercars too, but I know that's kind of tricky because Le Mans Ultimate has that game just exists. It's the official game of the World Endurance Championship, so I know getting those Hypercars is probably not going to be super easy, but I know Forza Motorsport does, but I think they're getting like I think they're getting mostly the IMSA variants though. So I think the IMSA variants, they're a little different. But yeah, definitely do GR3s. I like to see KTM and Maserati get some GR3 love, and have them actually just added to the Manufacturers Cup. Because KTM, well, KTM, you could just bring in the Crossbow GT4 and the Crossbow GT2. They'd be done. You'd probably have to make something up for Maserati for GR4, but they have a GR3 car. So, I mean, there's that at least. Alright, so let's see. Gonna see if there's any updates on Discord. Alright, yeah, still waiting on some lobby shenanigans. So yeah, sorry, just trying to see who's just trying to see who's waiting. So we have, I think we're maybe just waiting on a few more driver swaps and then we should be good. Seeing some new faces in here and some new cars. The RX Vision is in here now. See a Corvette in here as well, and also some Porsches. And we're actually seeing some actual Mercedes. But yeah, I think definitely this game needs to focus on adding more GR2s and even more GR3s and adding more manufacturers. I mean, or even if they don't add new manufacturers, update the ones you currently already have. Because I mean, Ford, Chevrolet, I would say Dodge, but not really Dodge because they haven't updated any of their stuff for racing. Ferrari, Lambo, McLaren, I mean, those BMW. Like, I'm pretty sure none of the vehicles that are actually in this game for GT3 are actually still, like, the most modern iteration, aside from, like, the fictional ones like Mitsubishi, Subaru, etc., and then also, like, Dodge. That hasn't done an endurance racing since that car came out. But I'll go ahead and take a quick break right now, and we'll be back once we get started with the race. Alright, so I think, fingers crossed here, I think we are only waiting for maybe a few other people? I think there was an issue where both lobbies were named Lobby 1 on accident. So I know that's giving us a slight bit of a hold up. So we will see. We gotta wait, and also if there's something wrong with the other lobby, we do have to wait because we try to launch both lobbies at the same time. So that is why we are going despite, or that's why we're not going even if lobby 2 is not ready, because we launched both lobbies at the same time. Once again, if you guys have any other questions or comments, just go and drop them in chat. While we wait, I am more than happy to chat with you guys. Get to know y'all a bit. My first time commentating here, like I said earlier, so really looking forward to spending the season with you guys. I think we're going to have some really good racing here in the GT3 category. It's going to be a ton of fun. Some really good tracks coming up this season. As a very quick drivers who are new to the league and others who are pretty familiar to the league, so be really curious to see how these drivers stack up against each other here going into the season opener of Zeus GT League season number 4. Alright, so you know what? We're gonna go ahead and just continue the discussion, I guess. This is, hopefully we'll get some racing here soon, at least for this part of the stream after qualifying was done. It just kind of became the Wreckish podcast here in, the ZGTL. So, I guess, trying to think of some other converse topics that we can converse on. All right. Here's another question. What is your least favorite track in this game in terms of just purely racing on it? For me, I know it's a hot take, but it's got to be Grand Valley Highway. I am just not a fan of the circuit. I've never done good there, and overall it's just a track that I pretty much have a VIP ticket to the struggle bus on. So definitely Grand Valley Highway is probably my least favorite track in this entire game. Probably my next least favorite might be, I haven't commentated on Grand Valley Highway though. I would like to. I think from what I've heard, it can provide some good racing in the Super Formula car. But curious to see how it does for other categories. I know Manufacturers Cup has used it quite a bit, so I think it does provide some overall very good racing. It's just not a track I like driving on. Yeah, unfortunately, I still don't have an ETA on when we're actually going to get going for this race. Hopefully, I can provide one to you guys soon. I think Lobby 2 is still the holdup. We're still waiting on people in Lobby 2. I think Lobby 1 is all good, but I think we're just still waiting on some people to join Lobby number 2. Yeah, so 3 people in lobby 2 are what we're waiting on. So that is the holdup. And if we don't show up in the 5 minutes and then the race is on, that's what we were wanting to hear, everybody. So 5 minutes and they'll be registered as a DNS or a did not start. And then it is gonna be go time here. We're gonna kick off season 4 in style at Spa. It may not be, it is technically a spa day, but there's no relaxation here. It is pedal to the metal, full force racing for 25 laps here, or about 60 minutes, give or take, depending on how quick these drivers are. And I think we got some pretty solid drivers. And I think, so actually it's, both of the LDRS drivers are still missing from lobby 2. And then there's one other driver. So the announcement has been made. If the lobby doesn't start within 2 minutes, and then we are going to go green. In both lobby 1 and lobby 2, you're currently on board with lobby number 1. Unfortunately, we do not have a stream for lobby 2. In the future, when we do have streams for lobby 2 and lobby 1, I'll be your host for lobby 1 for most of, if not all the time, and then and the stream will be labeled as lobby 1 here on Twitch. I think lobby 2 will be streamed on YouTube. I don't think we're gonna have both here on Twitch, because I think Twitch would actually have a panic attack if 2 streams are running at the same time on here, at least from like the PlayStation like standpoint, because I think one will actually cancel the other out. So, still waiting. I think we should be on the way here very, very shortly, and we will be back when we actually officially kick off. Okay, so actually, getting some updates here. We do have 2 of our missing drivers in lobby 2. They got the situation sorted. So I think we are just waiting on a singular driver left, and I think we're gonna go green here very, very shortly for 60 minutes or 25 laps around Spa-Francorchamps, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. Oh, I thought we were actually started. I actually got my hopes up a little bit. We'll be bringing on-track action to you guys very, very soon. New season does have a few teething issues, but that's okay. Things happen like that in the world of esports. But we should be going green very, very soon. Probably, if I were to give an ETA, probably about 2 to 3 minutes max. And then we will be going green for the season opener here of the Zeus GT League. First time we'll actually be competing under this new moniker. We were previously just called the Zeus Gaming League, as there was an attempt to get into some other racing games, like I think F1 was on the cards, Forza I think was also attempted, but the owners knew that clearly Gran Turismo was where the community is at, and that is where we are here today. So the rebrand happened for the beginning of Season 4 to the Zeus GT League, adding an extra T there. So renaming from the Zeus Gaming League to the Zeus Gran Turismo League. It's going to be a lot of fun here, folks. You're definitely not going to want to miss any of this action. Oh, there it is. It is green here, ladies and gentlemen. We finally have some racing action about to go on. And it is still an Inferno 1-2. They will lead us to green here today. Alright, it'll be a rolling start. And Inferno does lead us to green. Inferno followed by Yasser, Robies, Solakidis, Rantala, but we'll get back to the names later. And it's lights out, and away we go. It is a good start there from the Hyundai duo as they lead into turn number 1 of La Source. And it's a pretty good getaway there from the Hyundais, but the Mazdas are right behind them. So it's 2 teams going back to back fighting. They're going to be fighting here very, very soon, and we're going to go ahead and go through La Source here. Or sorry, yeah, no, Eau Rouge, my apologies. We're going through Eau Rouge, and now we're about to hit the Camel Straight. And so far, it looks like Robies, actually both of the Mazdas and the Hyundais have just kind of pulled away from these other cars. Rantala is currently in P5 in the Mercedes. But so far, it has been mostly just these front 3 runners just kind of pulling away from the rest of the pack. Go ahead and just take a look down the rest of the field. Don't think there's any major incident, which is pretty uncommon for. Oh, we have a half-second penalty for a lucky lose here as these cars go through the first of many hairpins on the circuit. Looks like a little bit of a touch and go there from Lucky and Ananias. Lexus and BMW, he backs out, lets him back on the circuit. As we see Brent there rounding out the back of the grid in that Corvette. And we're going to go ahead and switch back to the front real quick. And it's definitely a Hyundai 1-2 right now. And they are doing excellent right now. They led the pack from green. And so far it's been a pretty successful lap 1 for this squad. One of the Mazdas has kept up though. Roby has kept up with these cars, but he's pulled away from his teammate there. The French driver from the My Team Esports group. Just trying to get up to these Inferno drivers. The Inferno drivers are definitely on fire right now, but they need to keep that fire stoked. They got to keep it going. I mean, right now, Roby is pretty close. I think he was maybe trying to shake up for a move. We're going to go into hood cam with the French driver. We'll see if he can make anything happen. If you mess up the bus stop chicane, it makes a massive opening for the car behind you to go ahead and make a move. And so far, the order hasn't really changed a whole lot. We're gonna slip a bit down the order. Take a look at P9, TWR Mercedes chasing down Venomous Venom. The two BMWs looking like they're about to do battle. as we go onto the hood cam of the car. Actually, we'll go on bumper cam as they go through a rouge together. Masterfully done, getting super close. We have 23 viewers now in chat. Thank you guys so much for popping in. Ooh, that might be a bit dicey for track limits there. We'll have to see if he gets hit with the half-second penalty that usually comes with a track limits violation. The sole driver from Team Year 1. See if he's going to make a move. Oh, I think he was maybe trying to think about it around the outside. Nope, does not. Venomous Venom doing a really good job there on the defense to keep that BMW behind. Good stuff there from everybody so far. We haven't had any major incidents, at least not that I have seen so far. Now we're going to resume back to the front of the field. And then Rocket and Aviasur still are dominating this race in the early stages. It is only lap 2 though of 25 here. So still a lot of race to go. And actually we're going to go ahead and turn on the telemetry for you guys, so we can see the amount of fuel and tire wear that everybody currently has. Pretty much Hyundai domination right now, as we take a look at Yasser, who's pulled away from Robius right now, who is in that Mazda RX Vision. The French driver just kind of losing a little bit out to the two Hyundais up in front. So the entire front row was Hyundai's and the entire second row was Mazda's. Good stuff here from these two teams, trying to score a maximum amount of points for their respective teams. We're going to go on board now with Clemson. And the offer from earlier still stands. If anybody wants me to go on board with a specific driver, just go and drop it in chat and I will go on board with them for a lap in any camera view you so desire. And then now we're actually going to, let's see, we're going to go a bit further back down the grid. Oh, that looked like it was a little bit dicey. Going through the bus stop chicane. There's a pretty decent battle here for P13 between Brent, Chicken Curry, and Lucky Lewis. And it looks like Brent and Chicken are going to be the two drivers that are going to be mostly in this fight. It's been pretty clean here in Lobby 1 so far. Not too much drama. We'll actually jump up a little bit. Jump up a little bit more, I guess. Yeah, so still so far it is a Hyundai 1-2 and a Mazda 3-4, but it looks like Solakidis is looking very likely to get fastest lap here. So, and that will be definitely some extra little bit of bragging rights here for the Mazda team. As we go a little bit further back. Yeah, trying to look and see if there's any major battles. It looks like Mercedes and Venom, they've swapped positions. The two drivers from, the two solo drivers actually. As of right now, they don't have registered teammates in this league, and it is 3 BMW M6s all back to back here from 3 different teams. I think the BMW M6 is the most used car right now in Season 4 of the Zeus GT League GT3 category. Our sole category so far, but we are expanding possibly to the F3500, which should be a lot of fun. It is the 90s Formula 1 car. And now we have Venomous Venom, still trying to make moves now onto the other BMW of TWR Mercedes. The Exodus Motorsports car trying, oh, it looks like he had a bit of a snap there on corner exit. That's going to cost him a little bit of time. I think most of this lobby has opted for the racing medium tires. And right now, this Inferno squad is just doing everything right. They're working together. They're slipstreaming through a lot of these corners. And overall, they're just pulling away from the rest of the pack, which is exactly what you need. And they're not really fighting as teammates. And I mean, rule number 1 is just don't collide with your teammates. Actually go a bit further back here into this field. It might be a battle coming up here soon. But I think the situation that most of these drivers are really going to be in right now is that they're not going to really push super duper hard. They do have a long race here in Spa-Francorchamps in Stadler, Belgium. So they're going to really just try to focus on the pit strategy. They're going to try not to get damaged because they have to go to the pits for damage, and this track has a notoriously long pit lane, so The less time you spend in the pits, the better. Ideally, you'll want to go maybe once or twice for fuel and tires, but then that's pretty much it. No forced tires, aside from racing tires, obviously, but running these sports or comfort tires on these cars is not really recommended. As we see Ikonen going through the track, trying to chase down the other, trying to chase down that BMW of Clemson. One of the several BMWs on track. I think it's one of 4 M6 machines that we have currently on track. We're going to actually go on board with the other one, his teammate of Crago in the 9PP themed BMW M6, the highlighted yellow of the 2 cars. Going a bit wide there now. The corner can give you penalties if you're not super careful. Gran Turismo in general is kind of bipolar if it wants to drop penalties or not sometimes. But it looks like he will get away with that one. But yeah, it looks like Mercedes is pulling away from Venom here a bit. I mean, keeping it clean so far. I'll keep an eye out for any other battles. We'll actually drop back in the pack a little bit. Oh, here we go. Here's a penalty here for Brent in the C7 Corvette. He's going to ghost and then lay off the throttle for about half a second. There it is. He's back on throttle. But he actually, in terms of lap time, he does lose more than just half a second. He loses, I think, about 1 or 2 seconds depending on track. And Lucky Luz in the Sin City Racing BMW is going to move up to P14 on track as these drivers navigate the bus stop chicane. Now, the settings here for this lobby are you have 3 times tire wear and 4 times fuel, so you'll probably make maybe 1 or 2 stops throughout this race. And now actually the 2 Mazdas are pretty close together. The 4-rotor machine that is currently on your screen is one of the best sounding GR3 cars in the entirety of the game. And it's a pretty popular car. It made its debut in Gran Turismo 7. It is a Gran Turismo 7 exclusive. This car does not feature in any other games that I know of. And I mean, actually neither does this Hyundai. This Hyundai was also a custom car made for Gran Turismo. There's a lot of cars in this game that are either based on real-life GT3 cars or based on concepts. And so far, our top 4 positions are based on concept cars, which is pretty cool to see. Actually, speaking of that RX Vision, on the next lap we will do a loud engine onboard, or an engine ASMR if that is what you prefer to call it. And then we will go ahead and just take a quick break and just chill out and listen to some rotary action. But right now it looks like there may be a battle here between Brent and Lewis. We'll see if Lewis has anything to lose. So okay, that was actually pretty bad even by my standards. But anyways, we'll see if the BMW has any kind of good defense. Curry is pulling away quite a bit. So really his only main competition right now is Brent in that C7, looking to make up some positions. One of the drivers from Lobby 2 earlier in qualifying, he qualified up to Lobby 1. And so far, I mean, the battle's been pretty clean, pretty consistent. Go on board now with another battle that's happening just a car length ahead. It is Curry versus Ananias. Lexus versus Porsche. And surprisingly, the only Porsche here in Lobby 1. Well, looks like he went a little bit deep into the chicane. And I think Curry is going to have a really good run into turn 1. We'll be on board now, and we will be back. Alright, we're gonna get back onto the action here, and it looks like Curry is gonna have to fight for that position, and no, Ananias gets it done. get a quick little replay there of that maneuver. We'll base it from the position of the car behind. We're going to go ahead and get onto that camera of the POV of the drivers. And he just gets it done and makes the move onto the outside, and perfect. Now the Camelot Straight is one of the best spots to overtake on this track. It is so easy to do. I mean, you get a massive run through the high-speed corner of Eau Rouge, which is one of the steepest corners that we have on the grid, or on the calendar, I should say. But the big thing you'll be noticing here is if you look at the bottom left of your screen, those front tires are taking a lot of damage and a lot of abuse. So it's definitely heavier or more aggressive onto the front tires than it is the rear. We'll see if that's the same for some other cars. Looks about even on this Hyundai that we're on board with. But it does look like those fronts are taking a bit more damage. Now, when it comes to BOP, it is considered a higher speed track. So, these cars don't have as much downforce as they would on some other circuits, like maybe the Nürburgring or Igor Norwand, which one of those is on the calendar, the other's not. As much as I'd like to see Igor Norwand on a calendar at some point, probably not going to happen. It is not the greatest of tracks for racing like this track is here. We'll see if TWR can make a move. He decides to wait because there is a much better overtaking opportunity up just one corner ahead. Go on to hood cam now of the BMW as they go through Eau Rouge, one of the most famous corners in motorsport. If he gets a better run than the Mercedes, he might be able to make an overtake here. We'll see if it happens. He's chasing, he's got the slipstream, he's got the speed, he's going for the move, but does he have it? He's got the inside line going into the corner, and he's got it done. The TWR Mercedes BMW is into P7. Sorry, that's gonna throw me off a lot probably during these streams. I do apologize. So now this has been a pretty solid battle between these cars here. I mean, Mercedes is making a lot of improvements. Got past two drivers already so far. Both Venomous Venom and Ikonen. And I am really sorry if I mispronounce these names, y'all. Feel free to correct me if I mispronounce any of these names. But once again, I mean, up at the front, I mean, you got the two Hyundais semi-close together. And then you have just the two Mazdas close together. The Mercedes. Oh, we might have a battle coming up here for P6, and it sounds like some car was getting pretty squirrely there. I'm not sure which car it is. It might be I think it's the BMW of TWR. The year one car having a little bit of traction problems here in this stage of the race. Now, a zero stop is just not going to happen. You're going to run out of fuel before that happens. Ignore that please refuel thing. It is a bug with the replays. When you have the keyboard replays, like what we have here for the Zeus GT League, it does sometimes pop that up as a little UI bug. We'll see if the two teammates can fight. Actually, probably not, because Sakotis in the back, or Solikidis in the back, has a half-second penalty. The Greek driver must have went over track limit somewhere and got that penalty. We'll go on board for the rest of this lap with a quiet on board, so you can hear the pure power of this rotary engine, and we'll be back. Yep. Alright, we did have a little bit of a stream error, guys. I do apologize. You'll see a series of blue screens, but we will be back into the lobby very, very shortly. Gran Turismo does have its fair share of crashes occasionally. Do apologize for that, but we'll be getting right back in. You're not going to miss a whole lot. Been unfortunate, but we've had worse happen. So, just a quick little unexpected crash. Unfortunately, they do have it from time to time, but you're not going to miss too much of the racing action because we'll be back in the lobby very, very shortly. And then we'll get right back to the action. There's going to be a bit of a bug with the lap counter for a short while, but it will update in due time. Hopefully we won't miss any of the pit stops. And there we go. We are back in this race. We're going to hop back into the spectator view. Oh, and speaking of, here's a pit stop right now. It is Craigo making a pit stop now. Let's see what the 9PP driver is going to go ahead and do. Probably going to gain some fuel. It is a very long pit lap here, so you'll just actually get to see just how long this pit stop actually is. Your screen is not bugged. It just takes that long for the pit stop to register on this track. So getting some fresh rubber. Maybe the hard tires, we'll see. And he's going to get some fuel. It's going to fill up quite a bit. So that's the one reason you really don't want damage here. Especially because here we run heavy damage, so you have to fix down the pits. And he does go on another set of medium tires. So don't worry, it's going to take a second for everything to kind of update. We're on board now with Rentala, who's got a slight bit of a gap to the car behind. The timing screen is going to be a bit wonky for a bit. I can promise you this is not the overall race leader right here on your screen, although I know he wishes it was. I think our race leader is still the two Hyundais. Yeah, it's definitely these still Hyundais still. Once they cross the line, they'll definitely update the timing table on our end. I do apologize for the inconvenience. We should be good for the rest of the stream. Hopefully we don't have any other weird lobby disconnects like that. Oh, and actually, Rocket is going to come on into the pits. We'll see what he does. The lead driver making pit stops. Him and his teammate. So we'll see what they're going to do here. See if we can, actually we're going to see if we can get an updated lap here shortly. As the RX Visions do roar by. Actually, one of them, Robies, has the fastest lap of the session. Gonna go and make the pit stop. Change to new tires. He just got a fresh set of racing mediums. I think mediums are going to be probably the tires you see for the entirety of the race. Gonna gas up and then get back on track. There we go. Now the lap count has updated a bit. It is lap 10 out of 25. We're about halfway there. Montala is, I mean, those medium tires are more cooked than a well-done steak. So that is very, very unfortunate. He's going to have to really pit in soon because he does have Clemson right behind him. Although Clemson is not much better on the tire front. They're about the same. So it is lap 10 out of 25. These other drivers will have to pit because they knew it's not a rule. You could go on a zero stop if you wanted to, but you are likely not going to have the fuel or the tire life for that. Now, blowouts don't happen in Gran Turismo, but you're going to have no tire grip. And so you're going to understeer a lot, or you may have really bad snap oversteer. Usually both. But we'll see. This is the race for the current on-track lead, I think. Oh, actually, no, that would actually be... Yeah, I think it's actually this driver right here. Yeah, actually, Robies is currently the leader of this race. It's a Mazda 1-2 at the moment. I know the UI says otherwise, but it's going to take a hot second for it to actually update. Still says it's lap 1 for this pairing. For Gran Turismo reasons, I guess. Hopefully when they come across the line, it is going to be fixed. Yeah, it's really weird. It should be fixed up before the end of the race, definitely. But right now, these are your current race leaders, Robies and I'm gonna probably mispronounce this again, but Solikinis. Yep, there it is. Now it is updated. We are on lap 11 of 25. Another 2 laps, and then we'll be at the de facto halfway mark as some other cars behind go to the pits. That will be Clemson and Mercedes. The 2 British drivers making their pit stop now. Now, the question is Roby's going to go ahead and try to push this to the end? Is he going for a massive overcut? The overcut isn't really strong on this track because of how long that pit lane is. So, I mean, you're really kind of doing yourself more harm than good on the outlap or on the overcut, just because that pit lane is so long. But we'll see. We will see where it goes. Yeah, so a few of these drivers haven't pitted yet. Both the Inferno drivers have pitted in. Clemson and Mercedes are both getting out of the pits, and same with Venomous Venom. Venomous Venom actually going on the hard tire compound, so he's not planning on making another stop. He's going to just try to run this to the end. A few cars ahead that have still yet to pit. We're going to switch back on board to the 2 lead Mazdas. But I know once this pit stop happens, they're both going to lose their lead. They're probably both going to pit in at the same time. Because, I mean, granted, while they are on the same team, unlike games like maybe Formula 1, they do not share the same pits. Because they are only, like, in terms of the game itself, they are only a team in spirit. They will use separate pit boxes, so they can both pit in at the same time, and not really, you're not going to see a double stack. You'll just see 2 cars pitting in. So they can afford to both go into the pits at the end of the stop. We'll see what they do. They're coming up to the bus stop chicane, the last 2 corners of the track. Oh no, they're going to go for another lap. Oh, but his teammate goes in. Sola gets in. 7% fuel left in that Mazda. That car was running super low. I don't think he could have went to another lap. So I think the strategy for these Mazdas right now is just to go all the way to the end of this race on a one-stop strat. We'll see what Sola can do. We'll see what pit changes he has decided to make. Looks like a fresh set of Michelins out there. Yep, they're going to swap the tires. We'll see what he puts on. And it's another set of full mediums. Another set of mediums there for the Greek driver. And we'll see if he fuels up completely. It looks like he is, yeah, so he is going to fuel up completely. So they're definitely not planning on making another stop. Let's see if we can find a battle. Oh, here we go. The 2 teammates are going to fight it out. As there's not much of a fight, but it is a position swap. Rocket allows his teammate to go through. Let's see if there's any tire damage between 2. Oh, actually, Sir went on the softs. Now that's an interesting one because we know the softs like to burn out super duper quickly. So very curious to see how that's going to play out. Apologies guys, had to take a quick little sip of water, had something stuck in my throat. But I mean, look how much those soft tires have already burnt out. I mean, they're only a few laps old and they're already at a quarter of tire wear. They're both going to just shoot past the Mercedes Ikonen. Or one is anyway, the other one's still going to be behind just a bit. On lap 12 out of 25 here. Oh, he's going to try to send it up the inside. That's going to be a bit risky. There wasn't a whole lot of room there for the Hyundai to get in, but he makes it happen. Let's go ahead and see if we can get a replay of that. Unfortunately, nope. The last crash broke the replays. It is a known issue with the replay that it will bug out sometimes if a lobby crashes, kind of. It does unfortunately break the replay system, but hopefully it'll be back later on. But yeah, I mean, right now, I think this Hyundai's in a really good spot to take the win. And I am concerned about this Mazda, to be honest. As Rentala goes ahead and makes his pit stop in the Mercedes. He's down to 9% fuel. This car is going to be really low on fuel by the time they pit. The French driver in the Mazda is just... Yeah, I mean, he's definitely getting the most out of these tires, I'll say that much. So maybe he can use less fuel in the pit stops and then maybe just throw on another set of mediums and go for it, because he's basically at the halfway stage of this race as it sits right now. As Chicken Curry also comes into the pits. So we will... It'll be interesting to see how this plays out, because honestly, if I was Robies, I would have pitted in... I probably would have pitted in earlier, but to try to respond to the Inferno drivers. I mean, they're catching them pretty rapidly. The last lap for Robies was a 2:20. It's a 2:16 for Yassar and a 2:17 for Rocket. So these drivers are about 3 seconds faster than this car right here. Fresher rubber and also way more fuel. So maybe Robies is trying to play the long game here, but we will have to find out. We'll see what the My Team Esports driver does. But we'll take a look and see. The field has spread out quite a bit, so there probably won't be any immediate battles. As actually, we do have a little bit of a battle here between Craigo and Mercedes. Driver named Mercedes that's not driving a Mercedes. And it's the battle of the Beamers. Two BMW M6s battling it out here. They're definitely gonna really be pushing for positions here. It'll be really, really spicy battle because both these drivers have shown some really good pace throughout today. They both have pitted in, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, both drivers have pitted 1% for this Mazda. A single percent of fuel. We almost saw a retirement in this race because of a lack of fuel. I have never seen that in my time of commentating, where somebody has ran out of fuel in a race. We haven't seen that yet, but we almost did. We almost saw a retirement made due to running out of gas. That would have been insane, as it's Conan also pushing it really close with 2% fuel, but that 1% fuel, that was... my heart would have been in my stomach if I was Robies right now. But actually, it allows Sokolas to actually just get back into the podium spots here. So we have one Mazda on the podium, and it's a front row lockout, or a 1-2 for, so it's a 1-2 for Hyundai. Sorry, my brain spaced on what brand it was. I should know, I drive a Hyundai. But yeah, these two Hyundai drivers are really close. But I think the problem is that Yassar's gonna have to make another pit stop. Yeah, I think Yassar is just going to have to make another pit stop, so I don't think that Yassar here got the strategy right, because he's surely going to be out of fuel unless he's doing a lot of fuel saving. I mean, there is a 30-second gap, though, to Robies behind, so I mean, these front-running Hyundais do have a lot of room to go. I mean, they have a lot of room to play with, so they're not under any real pressure in the slightest, really. They might even have a free pit stop. And maybe that was the plan. Maybe they wanted the free pit stop, because I think they just about got it. I think if they could push it to about 32 maybe, or even maybe 31, they might have a free pit stop here. We'll see if we got any battles coming on track. A bit further down the grid, it looks like, maybe. Yeah, here we go. It Conan and Venomous Venom possibly going to be battling it out for P9. We'll see how that goes. Thank you so much, Bruma. It is honestly a blast to be here. First time commentating for GT3s for me personally. And honestly, it's pretty fun. And I'm sure these drivers are having a lot of fun as well, as we are currently watching it. Yassar does actually make that pit stop. So he is going for a two-stop strategy here on this race. I mean, yeah, those racing soft tires are probably resembling burnt marshmallows now at this stage. I mean, those things are cooked. We've been seeing that the front tires have been taking a lot more abuse compared to the rear tires here in Spa. I mean, it's not super hard to believe. I mean, you're really pushing those tires to the limit with how many high-speed corners you got. Definitely going to be another change. I wonder if it's going to be to another set of softs. We'll find out. It is! So medium, soft, soft. That's an interesting strategy. We'll see how much fuel he gets. But the question is he going to be able to catch up? There is 11 laps left, and he's behind a lot of cars now, so I just don't know if this strategy was the right play, personally, but hey, maybe it might pull off. I mean, the soft tires are the fastest tires in the game, but they just burn out really quickly. And we saw that it only took about like 7 laps or so for those soft tires to really get burned out. He's going to come out behind Craigo. He'll be behind one of the BMWs. Actually, he's behind, I think, 3 BMWs in a row. Yes, he is behind 2 separate BMWs in a row. Both of the 9PP cars and also the year 1 of Mercedes here. Still got to talk about that the guy who's named Mercedes is not driving a Mercedes. Definitely going to ask him about that one later on, but we'll have to go ahead and just keep an eye on everything, see how everything plays out. See if there's any battles going on here. We might actually see the Hyundai of Yassar trying to take on Craigo here. Craigo has had some serious pace here, but I mean, it is going to be an outlap for the Dutch driver. But he's already catching up a lot to that BMW up ahead. He's already down to about half a second, so he could probably make an overtake at the beginning of Sector 3. He's got more tire grip. Oh, actually now it's showing that he's on mediums. So it is soft, medium, or medium, soft, medium. So that's an interesting strategy call there for Inferno. And he's gaining a lot of time though, because he's on that fresher tires compared to Craigo up ahead. Craigo's not. I mean, he's on pretty old medium tires. Oh, and Yassar is just going to try to make it look so easy. He's going to try to make an overtake around the outside. Doesn't quite get it done. The 2 cars are going side by side through the beginning of Sector 3. And he gets the move done. Excellent move there from Yassar in that Inferno Motorsports Hyundai. Let's go ahead and try to get a replay of that if we can. And no replay, unfortunately. The replay system is still busted. Hopefully they'll fix it in the future update, but I'm not holding my breath about it, because it is a pretty niche feature that you can really only access with a keyboard. So yeah, let's see how. I mean, Inferno might have to actually pit again. You know what? Hang on. Actually, I think if Robies can keep up this pace, I think Robies might have cooked here. I think Robies actually might have cooked here. There's 10 laps to go in this race. And Rocket, I think Rocket will have to make another pit stop because of just the amount of fuel. He may not change tires, but he'll definitely fuel up on the car, which granted won't take as much time as like a full pit stop with tire change, fuel change, and all that. But it is still a long pit stop here at Spa. So possibly, we might see Robies catch up here. We might see that actually happen. The French driver from My Team Esports might actually pull away with a win here. I mean, there's no real competition for them. His teammate's 5 seconds off, and he's got a 3-second gap clear to the car behind him. And Yassir's not around to help. I don't think the strategy for Yassir might have worked out, but I think the one for Robies might have. We'll go on board with, actually we'll go on board, let's see, actually last time I went on board with a Honda, my system crashed, or we had a lobby crash. Oh, here we go, here's a battle between Chicken Curry and Brent. It is going to be Porsche versus Corvette. We'll see who wins this battle. They're pretty close to each other. We're going to go onto the hood cam now of Curry. We'll see if he can make a move. He might be trying to be a bit later on the brakes. He decides better of it. That is a really bad spot to make an overtake. It is kind of mission impossible to try to get an overtake done there, and usually, unlike the movies, it actually does stay mission impossible. And then you typically just go straight on or into the other driver, and then you both have damage. which is not optimal, and I'm sure that would have been investigated by the stewards if that actually happened, but... Oh, but there he goes. Now he really doesn't even have to bother pushing a lot, because Brent has a half-second penalty. Unfortunate there for the Corvette. And we'll see if the move is done. He's just gonna let him through. There's no sense of really fighting it for P13 on track, and also he's got the half-second penalty. Craigo is actually off into the pits. Craigo in the pits, and now we're gonna see a BMW battle again, but Mercedes does have a half-second penalty as well. So I think these tires might be getting to that drop-off stage where there's just a lot of cars just going wide and just getting penalties. We know the penalty system here in Gran Turismo can be pretty strict at times. You can maybe have one tire off at one point and it still gives you a half-second penalty. Other times you can go so far off track, you're in a different continent and you're just okie dokie. Oh, and he had a big snap of oversteer. So did Yassar there. Massive snaps of oversteer there from both of these cars, and actually it allowed Clemson to kind of pull away a little bit, not a whole lot. I think Clemson also had a bit of a moment too on corner exit. It's gonna be close. I think there could be moves made, and yep, Rocket's into the pits. Rocket is into the pits. We're gonna go on board now with Robies, and we'll see if he can catch up. This is really the time he's gonna have to push. He's gonna have to push like his life depends on it. Oh, and Rocket hasn't even entered the pits yet. He hasn't even done the stop yet, so it's gonna be really close between these two cars here. We could have to see what happens. You definitely don't want to miss this. It's gonna be a pit stop. Is it gonna be soft tires though? It probably is gonna be soft tires. He's gonna get a little splash of fuel. And Robies is passed. Robies is passed, but he has to get through the source. He's gotta get through the source. Oh, and he just needed so much fuel for the Hyundai. Oh, I think the strategy gamble for Robies actually paid off. And now it's a Mazda 1-2 here in Spa. I mean, they played the strategy roulette and they won. They put all their chips on the yellow wall mediums to get them to the end, and they put some of the chips on getting your fuel to the blinking red state. And man, I think they hit the jackpot. I think the squad can really take it home now. Rocket is gonna still try to make the catch. We'll see if he can catch up to Sola. Apologies folks, my throat was getting a little dry there. Just because of how significant that was for the pit stop. I mean, that was just perfect timing, but now, here's the thing. Solikinis can actually really play a lot of defense for his teammate. Because Rocket is 10 seconds behind the race leader. And but the fresher tires is just going to try to make it stick. But Sola is not going to give up. He's going to continue pushing. He's really going to try to catch back up. He's going to have a slipstream here soon, but it's just going to be fresher rubber for the Hyundai. But this could be really tense. I think Robies does have it. But if there's one mistake made, one simple mistake, then Rocket is in a good position to catch. We'll definitely check the lap times next lap to see what the difference is between the two. And actually, taking a look at the car behind, Clemson is actually going to be under attack from the other Hyundai of Yassar, who is on the medium compound tire, the fresher medium compound tire. Clemson could manage it to the end, but I think he's going to have to pit. We're going to have to go on board with Yassar. We'll see if he can get the move done. Is he going to try to make a move into the bus stop chicane? No, he just did not have the real estate to make that happen. But he's going to try for the switchback. He's got the grip. He's got the speed. He's going to put the pedal to the metal. And he's going to put himself up in a P4. But here's the thing. Can he keep it? It looks like he will. Clemson going to shake up for a retake. Does not get it. He doesn't have the tires. He just does not have the tires to make that move stick. But it might be different going through Air Rouge. We'll go on board now with the British driver in the BMW for 9PP. We're going to see if he can make it happen. He looks like he had a better exit out of Baton Rouge. He's got the slipstream. He's got the speed. But does he have to move? I don't think he's got the real estate. You start trying to break that draft. And it looks like it's going to be a move. Clemson might try to hook it around the outside of the chicane. He just doesn't have the speed. And it is so difficult to overtake in that chicane. It is just not going to happen. It is not likely at all to happen. But good on him for just like, some drivers would have definitely had a dive bomb there. I'm sure some of you have probably had the misfortune of being dive bombed in a daily race. And actually, no, we can probably, okay, not quite. So after this lap, on lap 20, we can definitely see the lap time delta between these cars. I think Rocket has been a little bit faster, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Here's the thing, he is going to be on the fresher tires. He's going to have more fuel, so he's going to really be able to push. But now it's going to be a case of which team gets the double podium. Is it going to be Inferno or is it going to be My Team Esports? That is going to be the question at hand. Because Yassar is catching quickly. And actually, we do have comparable laps. Just under 2 seconds quicker for Yassar there. 2:20.15. And then a 2:18.19. So Yassar is just under, or about a second and a half faster than the car ahead. So, I mean, he's probably going to make that overtake sooner rather than later on the fresher tires with more fuel. And also the grippier tire compound, too. With those racing hards, they have a lot of durability, but they just do not have the tire grip compared to the medium and the soft tire compound. We'll see if Sola can hold him off there. But wait, Rocket's got a penalty! Oh no! This might hold his recharge. Inferno Motorsports' lead driver, Rocket, does get a half-second penalty, and he'll start down the Camel Straight, which will lose so much momentum because you have so much momentum going through this corner. As we go on to the driver cam of this car, he might have actually picked up some more time there. We'll see if it gives it to him, although Baton Rouge is pretty lenient when it comes to penalties, but oh boy, this could be really dicey. We'll see what happens. Actually, no, wait. Oh, sorry, no, it's on the backstretch. I apologize. Yeah, the penalty line's on the backstretch on this track. There's a different track I'm thinking of where it's on a similar straight. But yeah, I mean, now Roby's really just needs to bring it home. That's all he really needs to do in this race. He just needs to bring it home and everything will be hunky-dory. So this is going to be really, really interesting, but here we go. Are we ready for the lap difference between these two cars? So it's a 2:17.7. Actually, not a lot. Only about a half a second difference between these two cars. And not to mention, Rocket still has that penalty. So there's actually not even, there's about 0.2 of a second between these two cars. So, I mean, I don't think it's enough. Now, I know the Mazda is a very quick car. That four-rotor does provide a lot of torque. So it's rapid on straights. And it really thrives on the higher speed tracks compared to, I mean, I know on some of the more technical tracks like some of the Tokyo Expressway, it does struggle a bit. But on Spa, where it's a high-speed track, now Mazda thrives. So we'll see if there's any other battles. It looks like it's a battle again between these two BMWs. We'll see. Mercedes is trying to take over Clemson. Oh, but they actually both decided to go into the pits. And it looks like Rantala in the Mercedes is going to go ahead and move up to P5 right now. There is 5 laps to go in this race. So I think these two drivers who just finished are probably going to go for the soft tire compound and a splash of fuel. There's 5 laps left in this race at the kickoff of season number 4 here at Spa-Francorchamps in the Zeus Gaming League, or Zeus GT League. So I had the wrong name for a moment. But it has been chaotic from start to finish. We had a little bit of an issue with the qualifying setup and the lobby getting ready for the race, but overall, it has been a lot of fun here. We'll be back next week, so definitely go ahead and follow if you haven't already. And actually next time, also check out our YouTube channel. It is also under Zeus GT League, because that is where Lobby 2 will be streamed. So you'll have 2 races to pick from. And I'm seeing a lot of support now for the My Team drivers. One of them is currently on your screen. And we might be able to check the lap time here soon between these 2 drivers. Now that lap time has increased a bit. It is now about half a second, maybe 0.4 of a second now between Rocket and Robies, but I just don't know if there's enough time. Yeah, so even then, if you say about 5 laps, that's only about 2.5 seconds. He really needs to be gaining about a second a lap. Actually, more than that, he needs to be gaining about a second and a half per a lap onto Robies if he wants to get this win between Rocket and Robies. Rocket needs to gain about a second and a half per lap. That is what needs to happen. But we'll look and see if there's any other battles. Maybe. Yeah, I think this is the closest thing we got so far. Chicken and Krago. It's going to be a fight between these 2 drivers here. The Porsche versus the BMW. And actually, I think Curry is just pulling away quite a bit. But Krago is on fresher tires. So I think as this race gets closer to its end, we're going to definitely see a move being made there. Now, the Exo Motorsport driver, Venomous Venom, he's currently sitting in 11th place. Pretty much kind of in a world of his own right now. I mean, he's 8 seconds off of Krago, but he is 9.5 seconds ahead of Kira. So, I mean, overall, I mean, he just has to bring the car home, and it'll be a pretty decent result on debut. I mean, this is his first time competing in a GT3 series. So, I mean, credit for him for showing up, especially because he just joined in. Actually, he joined the Discord server yesterday, so he didn't have a whole lot of time to prepare for this track. In this specific car, from what I was told, that the car was a kind of a last-minute decision, so there's only so much you can do with limited preparation. Good for him. And Kira also in the Sin City BMW. He actually just made a pit stop, so he's going to try to charge after Venomous Venom. He's got racing softs equipped, so he might be able to make a charge. We'll go ahead and just kind of look down at everything and see how things going. Currently P12 and P13 for the Sin City Racing team. Both of the BMW M's, the black and white split scheme BMWs. And then we have Brent, the only driver from ESP here at the moment, currently sitting in 14th place. And then Ananias is in the pits. Not sure what he's doing in the pits. He may have had some damage he had to get fixed. Looks like he's just kind of stuck in the pits there. Hopefully that's not an indicator of like a game crash or any of that. But we're going to go back on track. Let's see. What's the time difference now? Oh, there we go. That's about a second. It's a second between these 2 cars. Now let's take a look at it again. A little under 2 seconds now. Now this is what Rocket needs to be doing. So Rocket could still win this here. It's going to come up to... this is going to probably wrap up on the last lap of this race. This is really going to come down to the end here. We are down to 3 laps remaining on the season opener of the Zeus Gaming League's 4th season in Gran Turismo GT3 series here at Spa Francorchamps. And this one is going to come down to the wire. It may have seemed mellow through some periods of this race, but this one is going to come down right to the wire. It's going to be a battle of pure pace and strategy is what's going to decide the winner here. This is going to be cinema, ladies and gentlemen. You don't want to miss it. And we're going to just head back to Clemson and Mercedes again. Continuing to duke it out. Looks like Mercedes got a little slippery on corner exit there. As we'll be right back. We're going to just take a quick little intermission. And we'll go on board with this BMW. excellent set of corners there from the British driver in the BMW. Well, the one at currently P7, I know they're both in British drivers in BMWs, but it's going to be a tense race end here soon. Oh, the time gap is so close now. It's 3.5 seconds between these two cars. If either of these drivers gets a penalty, then it's gonna be rough. It's still gonna be a podium regardless for Robies, because yes sir is about 8 seconds off of Rocket. So let's see if Robies can actually win here. He was the fastest qualifier, I believe, in Lobby 2. We didn't see him in Lobby 1. But he lined up right behind the two Hyundais. So it's Hyundai v Mazda. A battle that you did not know that you needed. And you're getting it right here at the Zeus GT League here on Twitch. And we'll hopefully be on YouTube next week as well. And actually, if you want to rewatch this race, shortly after this stream is done, the entirety of the VOD will be uploaded to YouTube very shortly after. So before the end of today, at least in the Americas, then this race will be live and available on YouTube. So it's a 2:18.8 versus a 2:17.2. So definitely a second and a half. That is exactly what he needed. And this is going to really come down to the last lap. Robies just does not have that same level of grip through the corners that Rocket does. Rocket just has so much extra grip because he made that pit stop. And he's got a bit more fuel too, but I think both these drivers will be fine on that part. It's really going to come down to tire wear. Tire wear is going to be the big thing. Those hearts are probably beating as fast as their engines are revving. It's going to be very close. We may see a true battle here very, very shortly. But is it going to be enough though? A second and a half for Rocket. I mean, it's going to be so tight. It's going to come down right to the end. I think the Mazda does have an advantage on top end, but it's in this, especially in that sector 2, that really technical part of this track here, that the Hyundai does have the advantage. We're going to have to definitely, you definitely do not want to look away. If you need to use the bathroom, hold it in. Because this next lap is going to be some of the tensest 2 minutes of these drivers' lives. It's coming through the bus stop chicane. It's a good exit for Robies. And actually, I think he pulled away a bit there. And it's the final lap of this race. Only about a second and a half difference in that last lap time between these two. Robies, he gets a good exit out of La Source. They're making the run up to Eau Rouge. Rocket is on the hunt. He wants this win. He needs it. He started on pole here, and he's going to try to get a win here too. He wants the Grand Slam, the fastest time of qualifying, and he wants the race win. His teammate does have the fastest lap of the race. We're going to go on board now with the Hyundai. I just don't think it's enough. I think the Mazda is just going to win it out based on just acceleration alone. But this really technical sector 2 is really where it's going to come alive for the Hyundai. This is the Hyundai's best chance to get close enough. It's a clear track ahead of them. They have no traffic to deal with here. It is specifically going to be between Robies and Rocket. We'll have to... Oh, this is going to get dicey. Now there's less than a second between them. The Hyundai definitely has the grip advantage, but looks like he had a bit of a snap in the background there. Rocket seems to have a bit of a snap, but he has gained already about 0.3 of a second into this tight section of the track. This is the most grip demanding section of the entire track. Sector 2 is so technical. And right now, this Hyundai does have the advantage there. But if this Mazda can get onto that straight wall, hold in that position, he might just have it. And we might even see an overtake onto the bus stop chicane. That's a risky overtake, but it's one that can happen. In Sector 2 alone, now he's getting about half a second there. Oh, he's going to maybe try to send it around the outside. Is that what we're going to see? They're so close. They're within touching distance now. They're within a tenth of a second. Rocket's shaking up for a move. He goes around the outside. He's in the grass. He's in the grass a little bit. Robies shows him the grass a little bit. And it's coming down the last few corners. Both cars go off track. It's gonna be Cinema coming down. Can he be late on the brakes? He is very late on the brakes, but he goes deep. Rocket goes deep. Oh, contact between the two. Oh, it's gonna be tight. It's gonna be a drag race to the end of the race. Who's it gonna be? It's gonna be Rocket by 4,000ths of a second. What a finale. What a final lap for these two drivers. Absolute cinema here. It is insane. What a kickoff to the season we had here, folks. Oh, I'm actually sweating. That was so close. That was insane. Oh boy. Oh boy. I am actually physically sweating right now. That was such a well-driven race from these two drivers here. Yassar brings home the last spot on the podium. Sokolis, it's going to be both Mazdas and both Hyundais in the top two positions. Montala takes P5, is Conan P6, Clemson P7, Mercedes P8. Oh, here's another battle. Another last lap battle here. It's going to come up to the bus stop chicane between Curry and Crago. But I think these two drivers are just going to take it pretty easy. I think Crago's going to come home in P9. Chicken Curry is going to round out our top 10. And Venomous Venom. Oh, was he battling with someone? No, I think it's just bugged out a bit. But Venomous Venom is going to come home in P11. And then Lucky Lewis is going to come home in P12. Kura P13. And Ananias was still stuck in the pits. And then Brent is going to round out our finishing position. He'll be our last driver across the line, and that is victory for the Hyundai squad. Oh man, I know those drivers are sweating buckets right now. That was probably the closest finish I have ever commentated for. What a drive from Rocket there on that second stint, on that second pit stop. Amazing. Indeed, King C. GG's to everyone. That was super duper intense. Fastest lap goes to you, sir. So it is Hyundai domination here in Spa. They took qualifying, they took the fast lap and the race win by 4,000ths of a second. I think there's probably a soda can, or actually probably even more like a bottle cap between these two drivers. Actually insane. What a drive from these two drivers right here on your screens. And that song is fitting. A Tempest to Triumph. It is Triumph here for Hyundai and the Inferno Motorsport Squad. What a drive, ladies and gentlemen. That was excellent stuff here. Your winner is Batman on your screen right now. Pole position and a race win here for Inferno Rocket. Oh man. Oh, I hope I can grab that replay. Oh man, I actually need that replay. That was great. All right, so taking a look at your top finishers, we have Inferno Rocket taking P1 by 4,000, or actually I guess now it updates to 8,000ths of a second. Still really close margins, followed by Yasser. And then also we have Solakidis, Rantala, Ed Conan, Clemson, Mercedes. And then we have Crago, Curry, Venomous Venom, Lucky Lewis, Kura, Brent, and then we have a DNF for Ananias. Yeah, that was a very dicey match right there towards the very end. It was a violation of track limits, so this that result might get overturned. Yeah, that was really crazy. Excellent stuff there right at the end. But yeah, all right. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was it. That is the end of the season opener here for the Zeus GT League. We will be back next week for Laguna Seca. You definitely don't want to miss it. There may be 2 streams. Lobby 1 will be streamed here on Twitch with myself, Rekus, as the commentator. And then we have another commentator who will be taking over for Lobby 2 over on our YouTube channel, which is Zeus GT League on YouTube. Check it out. You can even check out some of the races from prior seasons. There's quite a few of them on there. I think every race from Season 1 to Season 3 is on there. But we'll go ahead and see. Once again, my name is Patrick Coleman, aka Rekus. I was your host and commentator today, and we will see you guys next time. Thank you so much, and have a good night.